Yeah, so Operation Silent Night is a Chaos Company's integration piece of some of our NATO allies. Out here we're working with the Romanian Gepard platoon from the Sky Guardians, as well as the Croatian Tigers, which is a Patriot infantry platoon. The purpose of this operation is to test the capabilities of the Armored Assault Company while integrating the air defense artillery assets from Romania, as well as integration of the Striker infantry or Patriot infantry that Croatia brings to the fight. Yeah, so part of the training event that we have out here is a large trench complex. The trench complex mirrors what we're seeing in Ukraine and the Russian front lines. The reason it's important, as we work with our NATO partners and our allies, understanding how our constraints, our technology integrates with theirs, and then the ability to complete the mission on the objective across the countries if we have to fight together as one NATO. Yeah, so at this point in time, Chaos Company and then 3rd Battalion, 8th Cavalry Regiment is currently part of the FLF Battle Group Poland, stationed in Northeast Poland. Our efforts here, as we work with and train with our NATO allies, is to build the interoperability and then provide M&D Northeast the feedback on what technology works together and then what the gaps and capability deficiencies we have inside of the NATO battle group. Yeah, so the success for the operation is benchmarked at our ability to integrate with allies from the beginning initial troop leading procedure planning process, move out here, execute the training event, and then take the AAR comments that can not only improve our ability to continue operating together, but also pass that to other NATO battle groups that are encountering the same problems and the interoperability piece. Yeah, so in this operation, as we advance, the Bradley fighting vehicles are fighting the mechanized fight against a templated force of BMPs. As they work towards the objective and destroying them, they're moving forward and working as a local support by fire to drop our friendly dismounts into the trench complex. As they get into the trench complex, the Bradleys advance online, continue to suppress the objective, and then isolate the objective from the enemy reserve. The Bradley fighting vehicle brings a significant amount of firepower to the operation, and then also allows us to isolate the objective or the smaller objective the infantry are on out in the deep fight. Yeah, so as our unit organically fights in Texas or in California in large open areas, or what we saw in the Middle East, moving and fighting in the EUCOM AOR, we're experiencing restricted terrain, specifically the dense tree clusters and narrow trails that the unit's unfamiliar with. For the Bradley fighting vehicle, its ability to maneuver through the trails has a significant ability to move through there. However, as we look at it, understanding how the canalizing terrain impacts our vehicles and the necessity of using the dismounts to pull us forward. And then as we get into the large open areas or the trench complex, the Bradley can then use all of its weapon systems to their max effective range. Yeah, so as we start off this plan, the troop leading procedures, there's intentional parts of the plan that were given to both the subordinate leadership from both our organic platoons inside of Chaos Company, as well as our allies, the Croatian platoon leader and the Romanian platoon leader, to then make their part of the plan, come back and brief the plan, brief in the rehearsals, then come out here and execute. As we look at their ability to rapidly adjust to the NATO battle group, or specifically the American TLP process, the integration piece builds confidence in the system and that our allies are able to easily integrate into our operations, and then also that they understand their respective role in the battlefield and then can provide that capability in the NATO battle group. Sure. So specifically for Chaos Company and our operations inside of the battle group, the goal is always to bring at least one of our NATO allies into the planning process and then integrate them into company operations. As we look at it, our NATO allies have different planning processes, they have different decision-making processes, and then they have different capabilities, specifically from a technological standpoint or just an equipment constraint standpoint. As we look at integrating NATO, we produce an after-action report that we're able to provide, specifically focusing on the conversation between our nation and their nation on what additional technology needs to come up here, or where our countries are having problems integrating specifically on the technological side.
We're out here to practice our trench warfare tactics with dismounted operations and mounted operations with Bradley fighting vehicles with the Romanians. They were conducting team squad live fire as well, clearing trenches and everything. And Bradleys were dropping dismounts off, conducting their own operations as well. So my job out here is to make sure that all of our communications equipment is up and running so that everyone is able to talk to each other. That's my main reason to be out here. If anything goes wrong, I'm out here to fix that problem. If it's like on my end, it's easy to fix. That's why I'm out here. Someone has to be out here to make sure that everything is resolved in the whole company, and our Romanian allies can communicate with each other. Pretty much. So I work with all the platoons, all the platoon sergeants and platoon leaders. If they have any combo issues that can't be resolved immediately by the platoon RTOs, they bring it to me and I find a way to fix it. That is my whole job. I work with the XO and the commander a lot. I also work with our battalion S6 office to ensure that our whole company is good on comms. Everyone has to be able to communicate with each other. If one person loses communication with, let's just say, another vehicle, or a squad loses communication with a fellow squad, they won't be able to communicate. Movements can get messed up, all that other kind of stuff. Bad things could happen. Movements can be conducted without the other element knowing about it. The whole mission can get flustered. So the Romanians, they have their own communication systems, but while I'm out here, if they have anything that goes wrong, I know how to fix it as well. It's like I have the proper tools to make sure that they are able to get back on comms with us as well. So since we are working with NATO, it's important that all elements of NATO are able to communicate with each other, especially during exercises like this. We have to be able to make sure that everyone is on the same page, everyone can hear each other, communicate, and get the mission done effectively. Well, in that moment during an ambush, I mean, we were in a convoy, we had no, you never know when an ambush could be coming. So you have to be ready at all times.
I'll use my Gerber.
I want to get one of the engineer Gerbers that crimp.
There we go.
No, but it's more service in your